Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Today we're going to do a character guide on Guy. So Guy is back on the Seymour banners and he did get a rework and I've never done a character guide on him. So this is probably a pretty good time to do it. So for those of you unfamiliar with Guy, he's basically a party tank support battery type character, right? So he's kind of a tank and he's kind of a support because he does a lot of battery and healing, which is very support-like. But he does do like locking and he's got like Brave and HP damage down, which are kind of tank-like. The bad thing for Guy is he's not a counter tank, and really the best tanks are ones that also have counter mechanics in their kit, so you don't get extra damage from like enemies attacking him. He just helps kind of protect the party a little bit, right? Which I think is partially why Guy maybe isn't a super popular character. He also like kind of comes out at times where he's a little underwhelming compared to other characters, right? But I'll let you judge for yourself. In this video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at him. And what we'll do is we'll look at his calls, his artifacts, and his spheres. So let's go ahead and start with his calls. So his 15 call is called Earth Smash. And basically, this does party Brave gain at the end of turn. So they're going to get Brave gains at the end of their turn. So that's pretty good, right? It's a Brave gain call. So if you like Brave gain, you need a little bit of Brave gain, you can do that. And then the call attack does heal the party. So I always appreciate calls that heal. Because once again, if you're doing a fight where the enemy tries to tick you at the end, you fall below the HP threshold, it's nice to be able to heal back up for that score requirement, right? Then his LD is called Gaia Swing, and what this one's going to give you, it's going to do a party defense up and HP damage resist up. So I think that's very powerful for like when you know you're going to take a powerful attack, you could pop that and know that you're going to get HP damage resist there. So I do think that it's a decent call. It's not like an oh my god must-have call, but I could see some use for it in the right setups, right? So it's a call you can use, but not anything that I would go out of my way to summon for, you know? Not like Kurasame or like Lilithset or like Raijin. Raijin's probably like the best call in the game. And I think like Kate Sith, like all these calls I got on my team right now, those are like some of the best calls in the game. Those are the ones you really want, right? So let's go ahead and let's take a look at Guy himself here. And I actually do have his artifacts done, which is kind of surprising because I don't really use Guy that much, but I did manage to get his artifacts done. So what you want on his artifacts is you want Attack 108 and the Rebellion's Gentle Warrior up, which is a C50 passive. So that C50 just gives him Max Brave and Attack. And I do think Max Brave and Attack are good stats for him because he is a battery character, right? So Brave gain battery, which does scale on Max Brave. So I think some Max Brave on him is pretty good, right? So then let's go ahead and we're going to look at the spheres. Oh no, game has been updated. All right, whatever. I guess the game just got up. Here's what I think it is. So I'm recording this like after Seymour just dropped. I noticed that like the banners were bugged. Like there was no images on the banners. So my guess here is that they like just fixed the banners. And that's why I had to reboot my game. So sure, yeah, little data download here. Okay. Unless like, was I like into the game? I think I was into the game and like, what is going on with my game? Because like my game was so glitched. I did the whole Seymour showcase, and you guys can let me know if you had this. So this will kind of, I guess, be a bonus onto the video if I can get into my game. But like the banners were just blank for me. So I wonder if I was kind of like into the new event stuff, but hadn't actually done the data download, and now my game is broken. Hold on, let's do a reset here. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be bad. Did I just break DFFOO? Maybe I'll put that in the title. I just broke DFFOO trying to do a Guy character guide, right? We'll see. If not, I can always pause and do a cut, but let's just see if this works here. I do think this is mildly entertaining, right? To just see DFFOO broken. I know I'm like mid-character guide, but I do kind of want to look at... Okay, keep downloading stuff, sure. Please don't be broken. Don't give me an error message. That would be fantastic if DFFOO just wasn't broken right now. Because I kind of want to look at the banner and see if it's still broken. And you guys can let me know if you had the same issues I had. I don't know if... Okay, good. We're in. We're in. Perfect. Let's just check out the banners quick. Which I just did my free multis. Yeah, okay. So when I went in here, you could not see images. The box was just gray. And I just did my free multis. The only way I could see what was on it is I had to click the draw info at the top. Anyways... Back into the character guide here, and it was so funny. So I was like, basically did Seymour's whole guide like while the game was broken, and it still worked, which is kind of funny. All right, so chapter 8, and I'm just going into the standard fight here. All right, so I was on the point of spheres. So let's get back into spheres. That wasn't too bad of a diversion, right? That wasn't that bad. Kind of entertaining. Oh, my team isn't set up anymore, though. Interesting. All right, so let's go ahead. Here's the other thing, the other glitch I noticed. Let me turn this back and filter by EXP. None of the new characters were showing EXP times 2. That was the other error I had. Did they fix it? Yeah, now it's fixed. So none of the characters were showing EXP times 2. That was the other error I was having, right? So let me just quick get my team set up. I want Rem in here because Guy, I think, is kind of slow. We want to give him some turns. All right, so back into Guy. Anyways, so let's go ahead and look at spheres. So for spheres, you want attack and brave damage primarily. I think attack and max brave is fine as well because the max brave is going to help him with the brave gains, right? So I just put something now. He does do weakness damage. So the one thing I need to mention is he is an Earth enchant and periler. So he's going to enchant the party for Earth. And he's going to imperil, so you will get weakness damage. Now, the bad part about that, Earth is a super uncommon element, which means not a lot of fights are going to cater to that. So when there are elemental lockouts, they're typically not going to require Earth, which means he's going to get locked out very easily. So that's the other bad part about Guy right now. But that's okay. I mean, we've seen that, like, you can get through fights you can, like, power through that. And he does do brave gains, right? So the brave gains can help power through that, but not that I recommend you go out of your way to use Guy. He's not the craziest, but we'll look at him here in the video, right? So I just have, what's his face? This dude from Final Fantasy VIII, the punchy guy. I always forget his name on the spot, but you guys know who I'm talking about. But he gets attack up on weakness damage, so I just had an extra one on there. But like Rydia, right? Rydia, brave damage and attack for weakness damage. Jack, brave damage and attack. You could do an attack max brave like Sephiroth, you know, something like that would be fine there. Now, the B slot's a little bit different. So you could go more of a brave gain route. So, like, if you want to go brave gain, like his own or like Celis, those are good, like, actually, I think his own is max brave. Hold on, let me check his own. His own is, yeah, so if you want to go more max brave for brave gains, you could put his own on him. And then Celis would be if you want more, like, brave gains. Otherwise, you could do Gabranth. Gabranth just helps reduce party damage, which that's good. That's part of what he wants to do, right? If you really like Guy, you could do Gladio. His is probably like the best attack B sphere in the game. But typically Gladio sphere is better on like actual counter tanks that are doing more damage. But if you have extra Gladios and you really like Guy, sure, you can go ahead and throw that on there. And then in the D slot, I would say Hope is probably one of his better ones here because he does buff a fair amount. So he can trigger this, and it's going to be attack max brave, which once again, max brave will help his brave gains and attack is good for damage, right? So I'd say something like that would probably be his best setup. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop into the showcase. Hold on, we got to give Guy the big axe. Yeah, let's give him the big axe, the bronze. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into a little showcase, and then we'll take a look at him. He's fairly simple to use. I'm not going to do any like force things in here, so we'll just go in normal. This will probably be a little bit of a quicker, well, would have been a quicker showcase had my game not broken, right? All right. So Guy is one of these characters that does start with the EX, so I do recommend you just open with it. This is good that we start with Luna Freya, because I can just quick prayer him right away and give him a few turns. So let's go ahead and do that. Quick prayer Guy. Perfect. And then we'll go ahead and just attack the enemies backwards. Push them back, and then Guy gets 3 turns. Awesome. So what I usually would do is I would open with the EX. So let's pop that because we got it. This is called Gaia Rumble. Let's see the damage, because I haven't used Guy a lot. This is after his rework. How's he looking? Okay, 700k AoE. That's solid because my guy is bare minimum. Like, I don't even have LD armor. He still has the EX armor on. So that damage can probably push closer to 800k to a mil if you've got him like more invested than mine. So that's pretty good for his EX. The one thing too to note about Guy, every button he presses is AoE. So like targeting it isn't necessarily as important because he's just going to always do AoE damage. So just keep that in mind. But on the EX here, let's go ahead and take a look at the EX here. So his EX Gaia Rumble, the really big reason you want to use that right away is that it does put the Earth in peril. So now from this point, we're getting weakness damage. And then he gets a buff called Gaia Strength. And Gaia Strength is going to give him HP damage up, Brave Gain up, Party Attack up, Party Earth Enchant. So the party now is Earth Enchanted. So right away with that, we're doing our Enchant and Peril all in one button. And then Brave Gains up as well. So we're getting Brave Gain, HP damage up, Party Attack up, and Earth Enchant and Peril. Very, very good on the EX. And So that's why I would open with that, right? Because you got it, and then that way when you're using your other skills, you just give it a chance to charge up, right? Then what I would do is hop into like LD. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is called Gaia Swing. So let's see what kind of damage. All right, very similar damage, 700k AoE. So very similar to the EX. This is just an AoE Earth. And once again, all of his attacks are Earth, by the way. So when he's enchanted, remember, enchanting when you already have the element isn't like nothing. It increases the damage. So it's still good to enchant yourself even if you already have the element. So that's an AoE Earth attack. Did, you know, the damage there. It does do additional weakness damage as well. And then he gets a buff called Tough Guy. And it does imperil as well. So the other thing that's good with the LD, you want to use it, one, for just big damage, maybe during a force time. Or if, let's say, the enemy's imperil falls off, or they cleanse it, and your EX isn't up, then you want to hit that LD to put that imperil back on, right? So the Tough Guy buff does a party attack up, defense up, Brave and HP damage up, Brave gains up, and then Brave damage taken minus 50%, and HP damage taken minus 30. So to me, this is his most important buff, because this is where the tanking is coming from. So the whole party takes 50% less Brave damage and 30% less HP damage. That's very good, right? Now, the other thing that I should note is that Guy has Last Stand. So what you're going to notice in his kit, he has locking. So single target stuff, as long as he's above 50%, he won't die. And his Last Stand, the thing that's kind of cool about it, it's just a passive he has. It's not tied to a buff, so you don't have to upkeep it. So as long as he's above 50%, he'll have Last Stand. So that's just something to remember about that. Then we could go ahead and pop his AA. So his AA is going to do Party Overflow up, and then Weakness Brave damage up, and then Brave damage limit up by 20%, which is pretty good, right? So it's basically going to make you do better against weakness damage. So that's just a button you can press, and it's nice to follow up with that after the LD, right? Or you could do it after the EX if you want to do it as the free skill use. That's totally up to you, right? And then after that, you definitely want it. So basically, when you open the fight, you want to do some combination of EX, LD, and using the AA, just because it's going to be free. And then you want to hit Warcry, because Warcry is the locking ability. So you want to make sure you get them locked up right away. So 400k AoE, it's like not bad, right? Like his numbers aren't terrible for what he is, like this defensive support character, right? So that did an Earth AoE attack. It does do healing. So once again, I like that because we got that party heal. And then once again, when you excess heal, you get Brave gains. So it's Brave gains / healing. He gets a buff called Wilderness Instincts. This is going to be Brave damage down 40%, attack 10%, max Brave 5% up per stack, because it is a stacking buff, by the way. So he gets more max Brave per stack, and then party max Brave up, and then it's a stacking buff. So it goes anywhere from 10 to 45% max Brave up. Now the thing to note here is that we are getting Brave damage minus 40%. Now this is just to himself, but you combo that with the Tough Guy buff, which is a party Brave damage minus 50. This means Guy is taking 90% less Brave damage. So he's basically going to be taking darn near ones from the enemy, which is very, very good, right? And then once again, you combo that with the Last Stand. With single target, it is going to be pretty hard to take this guy down, unless the enemies are just like Brave gaining themselves up, right? And then it does do a 4-turn lock on both enemies, which is very good. Let's go ahead with Rem and let's swap back into Guy to get him another turn. I do want to let the enemies attack a little bit though, so we can see like the Brave damage reductions and stuff. So let's go ahead and actually, you know what I'm going to do? Yeah, sure. Let's put Raijin Prod on, because these guys can like paralyze, and I don't want to get paralyzed. I don't think they would do it this early, but we're gonna put that Prod on. Okay, so we did that. We did the LD, and then the only thing we haven't really shown is Earth Smash. So let's go ahead and pop that. Once again, AoE. Everything it does is AoE, which is kind of cool. All right, so yeah, 500k, and then the splash wasn't as much, but it's all AoE Brave damage, right? So it's just an Earth AoE attack. It self heals, and then puts Gaia's Ward down. Which is an attack up, and then party Brave gains up, right? Pretty simple. So the thing with Guy, because he's all AoE damage, all you really need to focus on is just upkeeping the buffs and the lock. So kind of, once again, I said start with LD, then maybe go AA, or sorry, start with EX, then go AA, and then maybe LD. And then after that, you can kind of press whatever buttons you want. Press a button if you need to heal. Press a button if you need to upkeep a buff, if you need to refresh the lock, and that's it. And then he just tanks and kind of sits there, right? So let's go ahead And they're both targeting Guy right now, so let's watch him tank the Brave damage here. Because I don't think the Raijin Call will affect their Brave damage, it just makes their HP damage 0. So let's just see what happens here. We should see the Brave damage. Let's let this go through here. And they're both going to attack Guy. Yeah, so he took like 600s, right? Like very low, like triple digit. Like that's nothing. He's not going to get broken with that. And because he's Brave gaining, like his Brave's going to be looking pretty good, right? So anyways, there you go. That's Guy. You can let me know what you think. He's definitely like nothing you should be outwardly trying to summon for. If you like him, I think he's a decent little character, but there are like way better tanks out there, especially like counter tanks. So like Auron, Gladio, you know, even like, oh gosh, I'm just blanking on names right now. Gao from Final Fantasy VI. I even like Gao because Gao's doing all the off-turn healing. Celis with the off-turn healing. Minwu, like, there's definitely better characters you can use for his role. But if you like him and build him up, I think he's definitely serviceable. Pretty fun character. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.